Welcome to the show, everyone. Today is a special episode. We are talking, I say that about every episode.
Today's the best episode you've ever heard.
Don't turn it off. This is the one. Stay tuned till next week when it's also the one. We're talking about anxiety, winter blues, and mineral imbalance on your skin and life, and stress too, like all of it together.
Yeah.
How it affects your skin and your life. Both Ash and I have personally been experiencing this. So we are interested. Ashley just yawned.
Oh my gosh,
did
she's
you
talking
not
about
get
afternoon nap. Don't you wish we could have afternoon naps during the week?
Well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to have.
Not in America.
No. I hear really
Siestas.
successful entrepreneurs. They're like, oh, I took a nap for 10 minutes, 15 minutes here. But I think their children are of an age where they're in high school or college.
At the successful stage where they can.
Well, I think it's I think it's a different type of success where they're like, they have everything like a full on 50 man, team
like
members.
Everything's running.
Everything's like clockwork. We're a 2-woman show. And so we're doing everything. So and we have a time limit. So I think it's a
if
little
I
different.
caught you sleeping, I'd be there to wake you up. I'd be like this. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
We got to go. But sometimes, you know what we do?
Which is part of the anxiety stress. Get up.
What we do is Ashley comes over here and works. And it's been working well. And we'll talk about this as little walks to the day, but we'll talk about this. I wanted to let you know something. I just popped this in there. What I put on last night. I just wanted to share this. That's going to help me in the future. This should be one of the steps. I'll start with step 1 and everything else will be below it because I'm just adding this in here at the last minute.
Yeah.
I got an Aurora ring. You've heard of this, right?
Yes.
Am I saying it right? Aura ring?
Yeah,
Aura
you're
ring.
saying it right.
And here is a tip. I think they're pretty expensive. So this is what I did. I'm just sharing with the audience. And I went to Best Buy to size my finger. They use different sizes than a normal ring size.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
The Aura does?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I went to Best Buy.
Okay.
But then I purchased mine on eBay for half the price. You can do that or Mercari.
Oh, that's really smart.
Oh, yeah. And I made sure that it was like, and eBay will back it up. Do you know what I'm saying? So I felt comfortable. And so last night I set it up and it was so cool. So right before the podcast, so I was reading all my data, like how I don't know too much about it because I literally connected it last night, but just a little glimpse into the app was really cool because it said that I was in bed for 8 hours and something, but I slept for 7. And I had like my heartbeat and my resting, all this stuff. But they also have, which this is the main reason why I got it, is they have a app connected within it. And I am doing the paid membership, which I think is $5.95 a month, which I think is fine for my cycle. And then that way you don't have to take birth control or anything like that. And you don't have to mess up with my, my hormones. I just want to do more natural stuff.
Yeah.
So I have all these great benefits with this ring, with the cycle stuff. A brief look over the app. I didn't even know they had this. They had breath work in the app and meditation, and they had how to, and I was just skimming over it. It was talking about how to set up the lights for the night, how to like all these really cool tips. I thought, I didn't know they had all this. And
I've never heard of that before. I've just heard people do use it just to find out like how many REM cycles they went through in their sleep.
It was so, and then I read even more about it. It really deep dives into your health and your longevity and stuff. So to me, this is a huge thing to add to my stress and anxiety because it's going to really show me everything. Like it had all these biometrics that you can turn on. And so I'm really excited, but I thought I would just share briefly.
I gave us that little tip of how to save a few bucks.
Yeah. And then I will share more once I learn more about how this ring works. I'll jump, let you know a little bit. So anyway, that's my tip number 1. But this show is coming at a perfect time. First of all, we're in winter. I don't know where as Al Roker says, I don't know where in the neck of the woods you are, like neck of the woods. You know how he says that for the weather?
Yeah.
Here's your weather of the neck of the woods. That's what he says.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're on an island or somewhere far and it may be summer, you may have bright sunny weather.
Lucky you.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, we're in the South right now and we have
it's cold.
We got to share this funny story. So we had a meeting today with one of our admin team members and she lives in the Philippines and she was saying that it was cold.
Yeah.
Hey, Abigail, shout out to Abigail. I was like, well, what's cold? Because right now it was 18 degrees here in South Carolina and it bumped up to the high.
I literally had a blanket on my lap during the meeting because I'm so cold.
In your hoodie. Let's just call it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's jumped up to the high of 38. And so she was saying it was like 70.
Like, it's so cold here. Before she heard our news, she goes, it's so cold here. And we're like, what is it in where you're at? She goes, 71. And I was like, wait a minute.
That's
what?
like summer.
I love
So
it.
if you're having winter blues at 71, I don't actually feel bad for you.
No.
But like, get over it. But it is cold. And during the winter, we have more gloomy days than sunny days. It's been kind of gloomy this week, but today we are looking at it's cold but sunny. I love those days.
Me too.
We both, Ash and I, oddly enough, and I do think it has to do a lot with the light. I really do.
I agree.
And just hormones. I had an anxiety attack. It was this week. It was mostly from listening to Ashley's anxiety attack. It gave me an anxiety attack and then like the stress. And I thought, oh my gosh, Ashley's got to stop talking to me about this. But for real, I really had it. And I will go over a few things. And let me tell you what I do. They hit me out of the blue.
Yeah.
It was a tough day. It was this week. I'm normally a chipper dipper person.
Right.
I'm like, woohoo, what do we got to do this day? Let's head on. I'll tackle it, whatever it is.
You wake up happy.
I wake up happy. My hormones have me just in wackadoo still. And I'm doing my acupuncture every week, which is a huge help. Okay. That's another tip. Acupuncture, because it's just regulating everything and it's just circulating your blood and getting those pinpoints is really very helpful. And I think my hormones just out of whack from having my baby 9 months ago still. And so I just have these mood swings and anxiety attacks that come out of nowhere. Number one, what I do, first of all, is I tell myself, you're having a chemical reaction because then I know there's nothing wrong with me.
Yep.
And Ashley, you tell yourself that too. So I think number one, recognize that it's just an imbalance.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you as a person.
Yep.
And that's the first thing I tell myself.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're not defected.
Nope. So that's it's like so my first thing as I'm doing is it's almost a positive talk to myself is number one. And to know that today is going to be tough. I recognize that. And I give myself the freedom to allow that tough day to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight it, whatever. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a tough day. Tomorrow's going to be better and everything has to regulate, has to balance out. It's going to take a while. So until I get to that point, what are some things I can do to help make my day a little bit more comfortable?
I like that.
So that's what I do. Another thing is I did want to say, I think my anxiety, my stress also came out is because I'm human and this is where two humans that are running the show back here.
Right.
And right now we are it is a stressful launch. We have a launch of our membership and app, and the app is driving us banana jams, and it is so much work and all this tech stuff hit us at the same time. So our skincare app is absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of it. We have worked our tail off to get this together. So it's funny when you start a business, you start something like, I can't wait to share this with everybody. I'm so passionate about it. But then you don't know what's about to happen.
Oh my gosh.
When you're ready. Okay, go time. Got all the videos ready. I did my part. Let's go.
Right.
And then all this baloney tech stuff is happening. Like, I can't believe if this site isn't talking to this site. This isn't talking. This API code isn't working here. Apple's got to do this. Google Play's got to do this. It's crazy. So that also brought on my anxiety. However, we are getting through that, making headway. Like, it's getting super awesome. So we're excited do you know what I have to think, Ashley?
What?
We're always going to have tech issues.
Right.
They're always going to be there. So I just need to learn to accept it. I've accepted it, managed. I've had businesses for a long time.
Right.
So anyway, there is that lot of pressure for me personally, for my skin to look amazing for me. And then and I'm a new house. I'm a new mom, taking care of the house. The reason why I'm saying all this is not to complain. I'm trying to just let you know, I get it.
Right.
I know
you have a lot on your plate.
I have a lot on my plate, and I know that you have a lot on your plate, you know, whether it's like you're also a wife, you're trying to get healthy food cooked, taking care of your skin, taking care of your body. That's work too.
Yeah.
Or you may be single and just trying to hustle and get everything. It's just whatever your life stage, or retired and not knowing what to do. Like, and try new things. There's
Mom's going through that right now. She's about to retire and she's coming up to a place where she's like, what do I do with my life at this point?
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole nother stage. There's also the empty nester stage where in my Sunday school group, like all their kids are just like freshmen in college. And that's a whole new, like, oh my gosh.
You may be going into college and there's,
yeah.
So the point is, You're not going to escape stress and anxiety. It's
Right.
there. So what we can do is give you some tips that may help you get through your day. And you can tell on somebody's face when they're stressed or they have
Right.
anxiety.
Right.
I think their skin, it just comes out. Isn't it funny how your like body, like it shows on your skin?
Oh yeah. Mine, I was having a really tough time and I was like, oh, my skin was blotchy and red patches and it dry. And I was like, I don't look
irritated.
well.
Yeah.
I don't look well.
You don't look well. You can tell when people, just like when you're not eating properly.
That's right.
You can tell when people are not eating properly. All right. So I want to tell you a few tips, what I do. And then Ashley said she's going to tell you a few tips on what she does.
Yeah.
So when this happened the other day, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. First of all, like I said before, I said to myself, I knew it wasn't my normal self and I'm allowing myself to rest and like, it's okay. And I also made sure to tell somebody else how I was feeling.
I love that. That's so important.
You really need to not keep this to yourself.
Yes.
And you need to share this with somebody close to you. I didn't broadcast it on Instagram.
No.
Hey guys, I'm having an anxiety day.
No.
I didn't do that because that would give me more anxiety getting all these DMs.
Yeah.
So I told my sister and I also told my caretaker of my son because I wanted her to know.
Oh yeah.
I'm not,
smart.
my mood isn't reflective of anything that you've done.
Yeah.
It's that I'm in this space. And she was so sweet. She was like, you need to rest. I've got Ellison. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And she even saw me trying to like do too much. I was trying to organize a Christmas book. So she goes, Lindsey, she goes, I can do this. Go rest. I was like, oh, thank you. So that is one very important tip is to recognize it and to tell somebody and give yourself a break. I've learned in business to maximize my really good, efficient days. So then I can relax on my others. So on the days when I was feeling this, I still did need to do some work, but I did low key items.
Yeah.
I did not do any of my skincare videos. Don't worry. Those aren't in the app. Those are my chipper dipper days. We didn't record a podcast. We didn't I just did low key items, answering emails, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's important. And then I just let myself do what I needed to do that day, even around my house and just to take care of me. Another thing with workouts, I did not do my normal weights, hardcore Caroline Gervain. I'm obsessed with that. Even Ashley told me today, wow, you're looking really toned. And I really appreciate that because, I had a baby 9 months ago. So it's a body thing with me. So I'm just trying to feel like myself again.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen my body go look like that.
It's a transformation.
It's a transformation and not in a good way.
No.
And so now I'm starting to look like myself again and getting toned in my muscles. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see my muscles, but that's not the point. The point is I let myself rest and I did a lighter, actually, you know what I did that day? I traded that in for 2 walks outside.
Oh, nice.
And it was cold and I actually like the cold. And when I did my walk outside, I didn't even listen to like a podcast or anything. The first walk I did, I listened to a meditation song.
Okay.
So it was just music. It was a guided meditation song, no words, whatever. I didn't even want anything that first one. I just had to go. And sometimes you can just not have anything.
Yeah.
The second one was I listened to a guided meditation from the Abide app. It's a Christian app. It's one of my absolute favorites. I buy it every year. And they had one you can search in what the topic is. So I put in anxiety.
Okay.
And so I loved the anxiety meditation. And it talks about your God's not going to want you to feel this anxiety. He wants you to, he's got it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He can take care of whatever. And I literally prayed. I prayed on my walk. I'm like, you've got this, God. I trust you. And you can, and it's like, it releases that. So you don't feel like it's all on you.
Yes.
And so that was very, very comforting. And that really helped me. I really like that. And yes, it's great to just remind that God can handle it and I can give it to him. Then I did a quick breathing exercise. So I know the Oura Ring has it. I just found about last night, but I also found one. I use Lindy Well. It's another app that I use. And she has this lady on there that guides you. And I did a quick breathing exercise. I think it was 6 minutes.
Okay.
And I think it was actually 5 or 4 minutes after she talked. And I skipped through the chitter chatter and I went straight to it. You're probably supposed to listen to that. But the thing about it is with the breathing and that was my first, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's my first breathing exercise I've ever done, like a guided one.
Yeah.
Have you ever done one?
I did the same one you did.
Oh, you did that one? So let me ask you
this.
That
was my first one.
I've never done that. And with breathing, what I really like about it, you can't focus on anything else except your breath because you're counting.
Oh, I didn't put that together. Yeah.
So I was like, breathe in 1, 2, 3, and then you have to hold for 2, then you have to, and you have to count because otherwise you're going to miss the next, like beat or session or whatever you call it. And that really helped. Now, how did you feel after?
I did it was called VU breathing. And my takeaway from that is I loved it because.
What does VU mean?
It's like where you breathe in and then on your exhale breath, you go VU and you release it all out. And the vibration on the back of your throat is supposed to calm your vagus nerve system.
Was that inside the Lindy Well?
Yep, it was. It was called for deep calm for trying times. So I was having just like a particularly, bad funk. And so I needed to switch. I needed to switch things up and just calm myself down. And what I really like about that is that if I'm in a place where I can't escape, like I'm in traffic in my car, and sometimes I'll feel like, oh, I'm trapped. Sorry if you're in a car right now.
You're going to get to your destination.
You will get there. Stay inside. But then I'll do that and it just kind of calms me down, lets me focus on something, So so I really enjoyed. And that also was the first time I've done breath work as well.
I'm going to look that up. I thought they were all like that.
I thought they were all like this. Breathe in, breathe out. And I'm like this.
That's what I thought too.
No, there's different kinds. There's also, which I learned from hot yoga, it was like the lion's tongue where you breathe in and then as you breathe out, you stick out your tongue and you go, like that. Now,
oh my word.
And that's everybody hysterical. Does it in class. And the first time they did it in class, I was kind of like laughing because I was like, what is this?
That's pretty funny.
But I didn't even realize that was breath work. I thought that was part of the yoga exercise.
Now, did you get more comfortable doing that?
Oh yeah. I mean, you get, and y'all, I am going back. I am nervous to go back because I'm like, it's really hot and I'm scared and I hadn't done it in
oh, you are going to go back?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to go back like once a week or once every 2 weeks. When are you doing that? I'm thinking I'm going to start it in February. So because when it gets hot, I can't do it. But it's still cold and I'm just going to try to do it because it's like, it sweats. I just felt so good afterwards.
I would love to do it, but I'm scared of if you catch my hives, episode, which was, I think, last week. I'm not sure, but I'm scared it would bring out. Could you imagine? I'm like, all my hives would come out because it's attracted to heat. Like my heat.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I'm nervous to go because I used to go when I was so good at it. And now it's like, I haven't been in forever. So I'm like, I'm going to be able to last a whole class.
I do want to kind of want to
go. Long time.
I do kind of want to go.
Well, let's go together. I got a free pass.
Okay.
We should do it.
I'm nervous about going.
So that's why we should go together. And that's another thing that's good to get out of your comfort zone and try to get a friend to go with you or a sister or brother or whoever.
What time is that early class?
Mm-hmm. But we could do a later one.
It may be set. We'll figure it out.
Let's talk about our schedule right now on the podcast.
So what's going on with that?
So Tuesday at 7, does that work for you? Uh-huh. Oh,
I forget that I have a microphone. Right? I feel like I'm just talking to you.
I also feel like I'm talking to like a group of friends.
Yeah.
Like I just have in my mind, I'm picturing somebody listening to us and I'm like talking to them too.
You're just talking to them.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do is I'm very healthy with my eating and I'm still healthy even with my splurges, but I let myself just have what I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
And so that day I was really craving a hamburger and fries. Okay. So how I make that healthier is, so when I go out, I have just honestly just a handful of places that I know that I've asked the owner, do you use inflammatory oils? How do you cook this?
Oh, do you ask it like that? Excuse me, sir. Do you use inflammatory oils?
I say like this. I say, hi, I just wanted to ask you, what oils do you use to cook this in?
Oh, okay.
And then they tell
I thought
me.
You went to do you use inflammatory oil?
No, I don't say inflammatory. And they'll say, if they say canola oil, then I'm like, okay, that's not my place. But usually they'll say, if they say this other oil, I'm like, okay, cool. So this particular place, which there's no reason to name it because it's just here, you know what I mean? But I got their bison burger. So I got a really healthy bison burger and you can make it lettuce wrap if you have anything, but they have gluten-free options. So I have gluten-free buns and then they have their sweet potato fries, which they don't use bad oils on. So I had that, sweet potato fries and an Olipop. I told my husband, I said, get me an Olipop tonight. And he got one when he was at the store.
Give me that $6 probiotic drink. Thank you.
Exactly.
Strawberry flavored.
Yeah. So I had it in root beer. And then that is like my splurge is still pretty decently healthy. For my skin and health. I took a long shower that night.
Okay.
Longer shower and just relaxed. And I did a few skincare routine protocols that would make me look and feel better, but I didn't overdo it. If you listen to our previous episode about grace with your skin, it was a few episodes back, go back and listen to that because there's just an ebb and flow with your skincare and you've got to just learn the balance of it. There's going to be nights that are your longer nights still with your skin, and there's going to be shorter nights to where you need to give yourself grace with your skin.
I love it because in that episode, Lindsey gives her lazy day skin care routine.
Yeah.
And we all need a lazy day skincare routine.
All do. It's not going to throw you off. You're totally fine. So what I did, I simply did my facial massage just a little longer because I knew that would relax my muscles and make me feel good. But at the same time, I'm like working everything, doing my circulation. It's moving the lymph. So I'm still working on it.
Right.
But it's a relaxed work on it. You know, I'm not derma rolling and doing all that other stuff that I have to think about and like, which is easy for me too. But still, I was like, I just want to spritz my eucalyptus shower spray in here and do a facial massage and cry and just let the water beat on my back and just enjoy it. So I did that. I did do my droplet retinol that night. The reason I did that is so easy and it's actually therapeutic to me because I'm just like rotating these circles and listen to the buzz of the machine. And I know it's a retinol. And so I'm going to get my bang for my buck for that. So with my facial massage, my retinol, I'm like, I got it. I don't need to do anything else. I did do this one self-care thing for myself. And this is just the way I am. Ashley, this would not apply to her.
That was a dig, y'all.
It was more like a factual statement. For me, I like my nails done. Always. I just think for me, because I bite my nails. There's a reason behind this and it stops me from biting them. So I used my manicure set and I polished my nails this really light neutral and it just made me feel good. My hands, while I was doing my nails. I didn't have any distractions on. I enjoyed the moment and I just turned on the rain setting on my Abide app. So I just listened to the sound of rain. And I was in the bed. I did my nails in the bed. You know, I just put like a magazine underneath it so it doesn't get any polish on it. And it was so relaxing. And I had my lighting was set really nice. So it was just a nice moment for myself. So I did that. And what I'm saying is you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm giving you examples. Do what fits with whatever makes you happy, whatever that is. My hands were really rough and dry. So a quick tip I just wanted to share with y'all before I did my manicure is there is this enzyme polish by Bloom Effects. They have the body polish. My hands were really flaky. I was like, what in the world's happening? I think because I did on my walks and it was so dry and everything. And so I used the enzyme polish on my hands only. I didn't do on my body and all that stuff, which is amazing, by the way. And then I put on I did my nails and then I put on a really rich moisturizer by Rephyr, which is REPHYR. And then I put on my cuticle oil after my nails were polished, actually, and then the moisturizer. My hands were so buttery.
You're like this.
Soft.
I might be sad, but I look good.
Well, my hands, I felt they were, I looked down my hands, they were all jacked up and they were rough. And I was like, I can't. I want to.
And that made you give yourself a little boost. Like, you're like, oh, it's nice for myself.
It actually reduced my stress and anxiety because I was taking care of myself in a very relaxed manner.
I love that.
I had my favorite PJs on. That's the night to go all out and get your favorite PJs because that's going to it kind of just evokes this comfort.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? And then I have this tea. Oh, Ashley gave me this tea. It's raspberry leaf tea.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really good for you. What does it do for you?
It's loose leaf tea. And what I used it for was a couple years ago, I developed like a cyst in my ovaries. And so I went to see my OBGYN and she was like, hey, she's like, if this doesn't go away on its own, we'll need to remove it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to work on that. So I just did a bunch of research and my body got rid of it. And I drank raspberry tea. It was from Mountain Rose Herbs. I love that company. It's organically sourced. So I got a bunch of loose leaf raspberry tea and I also got dandelion root tea. And so I drank that and my cyst went away. I had an appointment to see her in a month and she goes, oh, it's gone. I was like, that's God.
I love this story.
Thank God.
I think that's such an amazing story. So I drink it too because I have endometriosis and I have everything just kind of blocked. Everything's just blocked. I do that too. And I know this is
like it worked. Like it went away. My body took care of it.
I know these cysts are completely different and related, but can't help but my esthetician brain directly went to, I wonder if that would help people with acneic cysts. Because it still is a cyst. I know it's completely different, but I'm just curious if it's because it's breaking up something in your body. I wonder if it would help with that. So I'm going to research that because that would be really good.
That's some critical thinking right there. Good job.
Yeah, it is critical thinking. What if you could wake up every day being truly happy with your skin? What if you could shake off outdated skincare beliefs and use your new knowledge to change the look of your skin? Well, I am excited to share that I'm going to show you the way in my free upcoming live class, 7 Hacks to Instantly Improve Your Skin. In this live class, I share my 7 skincare hacks that I taught to over 10,000 of my facial clients as an esthetician of 15 years. And I'm going to teach and share with you these same methods. I give you very actionable and easy steps that enable you to begin to change your skin to its healthiest version. This free live class is my gift to you. So if you feel stuck, frustrated with your current skin, then let this master esthetician help you. You will get to learn from me as I am holding this class live and in person. You are going to want to go to the link in the podcast episode description to sign up. So I invite you on the journey of how to have your healthiest skin, and I can't wait to see you live in my free class of 7 hacks to instantly improve your skin. Class is filling up, so I invite you to join today before it closes by clicking on the link in the description. The last thing I do, and Ashley's going to share her take, is I got my Sunday school devotion book. So we're working on this. We got a quarterly devotion book, and I've been pretty lazy with it lately. So I got it out, and there's nothing better than going into the Word because it really makes such a difference. And so I felt so calm and peaceful. And you know what you're doing? You're focused on something else besides yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're really learning this story or this parable or whatever it is. And it's very, very helpful to me.
Yeah.
So I thought,
distract the mind.
I want to get this. It's called the Daily Walk. I saw a nurse I actually follow on Instagram, and she shared it. And so I DM'd her. I was like, thank you so much for sharing this study devotional. It's called the Daily Walk. It looked really good. So I think I'm going to get that one. I already have a Bible that has a little bit of it, but this is a women's study one. And I really want to try that one.
I'm doing the one that our church said, that daily plan. At the church. I'm doing that one because I want to read the Bible in a year.
Well, this would be the Bible, but it just has beside it like a more detailed description of it.
I can't read anymore. Okay. I'm reading 3 chapters right now. I'm like, this is hard.
It is.
I love you, but wow.
But you know what? It takes the focus off. You're really studying that.
It does. Yeah. And sometimes it can be really depressing too. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm like this. Cain killed Abel, and he was murdered in his blood and gnashing of teeth. And I'm like this. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I did want to go back to, so as I was saying, I swear, I never ate. The winter blues has just kicked my butt this year. I mean, it is, I don't know if it's because of that coupled with I'm deep into perimenopause with my hormones. I mean, and then we're launching, an app and everything's just that doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. It's just been a tough season. And so I was telling y'all earlier, my skin is really dry, and I woke up and I was like, I don't look good. So Lindsey, how would you help my skin and those others that are going through a rough patch, literally on their face, to, help us during this time?
Yeah. So first of all, go lighter on your retinols.
Okay.
We don't want to just add fuel to the fire. So pull back on your retinols, especially if you're irritated, redness.
I'm glad you said that, because when you're talking about how you're like, ooh, I just did the drop it with retinol. It's like, I'm going to do that tonight. And actually I should not.
Depending on how your skin is.
No, my skin right now is really just super dry.
And sensitive and irritated. Then don't do that. Yeah. So that's a good point that you made, because I always like to come back to that. There's no one size fits all for skin. You really have to listen to your skin that day.
But I think when you say that, it always gets me confused, because you're like, there's no one size fits all. You've got to listen to your skin. But to those of us who are like this, okay, well, I don't understand what that means. And this is what this means, in my opinion. You have all the protocols that you understand what to do on the days that your skin is feeling extra moisturized, too dry, flaky, itchy. I have, some wrinkles that are really pronounced right now. I want to lift my skin because it needs to be tighter. So you've got all of those protocols. And so once you have all those protocols, then you can listen to your skin and you will know what to do.
That is excellent point. And if you are like, I don't know what the protocol is, I've got it down for you. So if you head to lindseyholder.com/guide, and that's Lindsey with an EY. So that's lindseyholder.com/guide. You actually can just easily download our 7-day skin AM and PM protocol, like your skin routine. And then based on that, if let's say I put in there, use a retinol that night, you can decide my skin is too dry. I'm not going to use a retinol. I would say to you, Ashley, if you're feeling that way too, add your barrier balm. Mm-hmm. I love the Glow Skin Beauty barrier balm. There's several barrier balms that I love, but Glow Skin Beauty has an excellent one.
Okay.
I also love the Bloom Effects, the Tulip Nectar mask. That one's really good. The Hydropeptide Hydrolock mask or any kind of overnight mask is really good. And the RepHyR, RepHyR. Oh my gosh.
That one I'm so thankful for.
That, I think it's 2.0 hydration mask. It's super thick.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's some good stuff. I put that on and I put that on my hands too. That one's delicious. Put that on. It just makes your skin just glow and just scrumptious. It's just a beautiful, very well made lotion. So I would tell you to do that.
What about oil on top of a moisturizer?
Yeah, do it on top of the moisturizer if you need it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll look a little glowy. Like I put it on this morning. That's how bad it is. In at night.
Oh, and you look fine. You don't look extra.
Yeah. Yesterday you were like, Lindsey and I were working side by side. We were writing stuff and Lindsey looks over at me and just stares at me. And I'm like, this, what? She goes, you need to step up your skincare routine.
I can tell. It's funny because I know my sister so well. I know when her and my mom, I know when they're not doing their skincare routine.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah. And I was like,
you slacked off.
I'm not going to lie, y'all. I had several lazy days skincare.
And I can tell in her skin. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, like last night I was at the roller rink for, the school. You know?
So it just depends on what you have going on. But it's like you've had your free days.
I know, but tonight I'm not going to be at the roller rink. So tonight I'm going to do some skincare tools.
You step it up.
Yeah. So I just want to tell y'all how I handle the stress and anxiety and the lower moods on the bad days in my life. And it was so interesting because this past Sunday, the preacher said something that resonated with me so well. He said, it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay that way. And I just love that so much because, I personally can't control when my bad days will happen, and they will, like Lindsey said, they will literally come out of the blue. And y'all, it is so annoying to me. I mean, it's just so annoying because half the time there's no reason for it. I mean, I have I have wonderful things going on in my life, but it'll just boom, hit me. And so I wanted to give you a fantastic resource that I came upon from Ellison's Caretaker. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm just so excited to share this with you. I just found out about him. His name is Morley Robbins, and he developed something called the Root Cause Protocol. Now, I haven't done all of this yet. I've just discovered it and I've read about it and I've implemented a few of his things in there, but I wanted to share it with you so that you could
spell that name because it sounds
Morley, Morley. And then his last name is Robbins, Robbins. And what it was is that he healed himself. This is one thing that I really liked about him. He healed himself.
From what?
I'll get to that in a minute. But he healed himself and he said that if you suffer from symptoms of anxiety or depression, this is what I loved about him. He said, you're not defective. You're just deficient. And so many of the people like, the therapists, the psychiatrists, the medical industry looks at you as like, there's something wrong with you and we've got to, fix it. But what he's saying, and this is what I really like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just deficient in some sort of mineral. And that made me think, oh my gosh, there's just a mineral deficiency and I'm not in balance. I'm not balance. And that's why I am feeling this way, because it all really has to do with chemicals and science when you get down to it. And so the basis of his talk was, he was saying that your brain needs energy to handle the stress of the day-to-day life. And if you can't handle the stress of the day-to-day life because you don't have enough energy in your brain to do it, that's going to come across in anxiety and depression, because that's your brain, like it can't cope. And so what he explained that the most powerful fixes for most people is there's 2 areas that you need to concentrate on. And it was magnesium and copper. And I just want to let y'all know that if you're new to listening to these things, magnesium isn't just one thing. There are, I believe, 7 different types of magnesium. So for me, I take magnesium glycinate for calming my body at night. And it also helps relieve my restless leg syndrome. And then I take magnesium L-threonate, which helps with the brain and protects the communications between the brain cells. So that gives better brain performance. So I just like stumbled upon that. And I was like, oh, I've been taking my magnesium glycinate for my restless leg syndrome, but I haven't been taking my magnesium L-threonate. So I just started this 3 days ago where I'm like, oh, I need to be taking this every single night. And I do that through a liposomal. To be honest with you, the glycinate, I just take it in a pill format, but the L-threonate, I take that in a liposomal, which is a liquid.
If you want a reference, so do you have this? Are we doing a shot mine for this so people can do it?
I don't know. I literally didn't like put all the links in and everything.
Okay, so in that case, I just wanted to tell you for the threonate, you are using Symbotica.
Yeah, I'm using Symbotica for that.
And then for the, I would like to share my magnesium.
Please.
So I use a brand called Pure.
Okay.
And
is that for the glycinate?
That's the magnesium glycinate. And I got that from Medical Medium.
Oh.
And is
it in a gel format or a pill format?
It's a pill format.
Okay.
But he's very selective on his supplements.
Okay.
So I trust what he recommends.
Yes.
So it's Pure. And what I did is I just went ahead. This is my second round with it. It's excellent. Like I can tell.
Really?
And so I went ahead and got the 360 mega jar. And then I just poured it in my smaller jar, and then what I do now just to set up my day for success, I now pull all my supplements out and I put them in little AM and PM stashes.
Like Nani and Papa?
Yeah, like my grandparents. Yeah.
Except for, you know what? Yours is filled with supplements and theirs was filled with pills.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't have pills, but I'm like, now I know why older people get their day ready.
Oh, I know.
Because otherwise you're unscrewing caps and bottles all day. But you know what I'm saying? You're unscrewing anyway. Yeah. So unfortunately, until, we're supposed to probably get all this from our food, but it's just not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
So even though we eat healthy, because we're not growing the food, but I use Pure. It's a great brand.
Okay. Thank you for that. I have not heard about Pure. I appreciate that input. Okay. So we talked about magnesium. So you want to make sure that you're y'all, you've got, again, I just want to stress this again. There are different types of magnesium out there. So you need to get the correct type of magnesium to solve your problem. Okay.
You mean the glycinate's the type?
The glycinate's the type. The L-threonate is a type. Okay. So you want to make sure that you get the correct type. The other one, this was so interesting. And I had never heard of this one before. The other one was copper. And what he was talking about is you want to get it from a bioavailable source. And what that means is this is a way that your body can actually absorb it. So if you want to get it from food, which is usually the way that I like to get things, if I can get them from, is that you can get grass-fed liver because it's really high in copper. And what you can do is, and so what he was talking about is that most people are deficient in copper, and copper has some real powerful effects on the brain and how it communicates. On the plus side, y'all, it can help with your hair color, hair loss, and help with your joints. And I'm telling you something, my hair is graying so quickly, and I am having like weird joint problems, like just coming out of that thing. And one of the things it said is that if you're
coming out of the thing,
one of the things it was mentioning is that, if you have a deficient in copper, that you have a sway back. I'm like, oh my God, I have a sway back. So, and also I'm like, I have not been eating beef liver. And so if you're like beef liver, gross, yes, it has a strong flavor, but let me give you a tip. If you want to get rid of that strong flavor, you can soak it in buttermilk for at least 2 hours, then cut it in thin strips and then fry it up. I just brought some over for Lindsey today and Elson's caretaker, and I made it with a side of aioli sauce, and I call it crispy beef sticks.
How do you make your aioli?
I don't know. My husband made it. It was like mayonnaise. I found a recipe online. Mayonnaise, paprika, garlic, look up remoulade sauce, on all recipes. Next week, I'm going to try doing the liver in a different way. I'm going to try baking it with like onions just to try to whatever. He also talks about vitamin C. He says, stop taking ascorbic acid, which is a synthetic vitamin C, and replace it with a whole food vitamin C. Also, cod liver oil.
What do you mean by that? Like an orange?
So yeah. So for example, if you go to the store and you are like, ooh, it's, most people up their vitamin C in the winter flu cold season. If you look on the back of the ingredients, it's going to say ascorbic acid. that is synthetic vitamin C. That is not the same as an orange, a lemon, citrus fruits. So go towards that. And that reminds me, another thing that he was suggesting is that you have an adrenal cocktail. And that sounds like really, to me, that was like, I was like, oh my God, that sounds so complicated. I can't do it. It's so much. It's not. And it really is going to help you get so much balance and improve your energy. So let me tell you what I do. It's so simple. Go to the store, get coconut water, and then you can also get Celtic sea salt. That's because that's a mineral. And then you get, your favorite orange, clementine, whatever. So this is what I do. I have 1/4 of a cup of coconut water first thing in the morning. I eat an orange and I put a couple of grains of the Celtic salt underneath my tongue. Oh my God. I can't tell you. It's like it resets you.
Well, and coconut water is great for, hydration. If you ever need a quick electrolyte instead of getting a Gatorade, because we don't want to get that,
right.
Have coconut water.
So I just started implementing that. And then also at that 3:00 crash, that's when I also, because yesterday I had to go to that skating party, y'all. And I was literally, my son was like, I have a stomach ache. And this was me. Oh, do you not want to go? Mommy will stay at home with you. Please say yes. Please say yes. But anyway, so I did my adrenal cocktail, which is what I just told you. And it just gave me the energy. Like I was like, okay, I can do this.
Because you didn't want to go because you have anxiety.
I was tired.
Oh, you're tired.
I was so tired, Lindsey. Yeah. And also had anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I was like, there's going to be flashing lights. There's going to be a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Actually, you struggle with anxiety your whole life.
I mean, people think whenever people meet me, they're like, oh my God, you're so extroverted, all this stuff. And y'all, I have to work at that. Scroll back up, Lindsey. I wasn't done. I work at that. I force myself to go into situations. Like we're going to a whole marriage conference this weekend. I don't know. I maybe know one person and Lindsey.
Well,
and we're not going to be the same.
My whole point too, but I saw on the calendar, which we're still going to go, but what I saw on the schedule, for the marriage conference is there's a slot that says games.
Oh my God.
And games stress me out.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to have me to me, it's like, am I going to be embarrassed?
Yeah.
Am I not going to know?
Or are you going to have to speak in front of people?
It's more like the unexpected.
Yes.
And you're putting me on the spot and I can't prepare for it. And that's what gives me anxiety. So
I'm
already having anxiety for that slot.
Funny, I'm having anxiety because I'm like this. Once I get in there, I can't escape. Mine's like, I can't my husband's going to be there with me. I
gotta go to the bathroom before the games and I'll be right back. And then I'll appear after the game.
Yeah. I mean, I have anxiety for that. And I'm literally like this, like for the skating thing. I was like, no, you're doing this. It's important to your kids. I just got to go. I just got to do it. Now I have a big relief when it's over. But anyways, the other thing that I want to tell you was cod liver oil. And this was important. And this was something I just learned about because I don't know about y'all, but my doctors, everybody's on the vitamin D train, right? Even when I go to the doctors, both my OBGYN and my main doctor, are you taking your vitamin D? Because they've discovered how vitamin D is linked to your immune system. And you want to make sure your vitamin D is up and, strong because so many people are deficient in it. Here's the thing though, is that you also need to have vitamin A with your vitamin D. Because if you have only taken vitamin D, then it's going to upset the balance and take away from vitamin A. And you can have other things going on with that. So cod liver oil has vitamin A along with vitamin D to balance it out. So I don't know how it's going to taste. I literally just ordered one from Jigsaw Health. It was a recommendation. It said it has a little lemon taste to it from real lemons. So I'm really hoping that balances out that fishy taste. Anyways, so I'm going to try that too. Also, I just want to say, this might surprise you. I'm not a doctor, but
me neither.
But I just want to give you a couple of things that I read about. You can read about it all at therootcauseprotocol.com because that's where I'm reading about it. I have not gone through the whole thing. I just discovered it. So I really wanted to share this with you in hopes that if any of you out there are like, oh, I need something to help me, Ashley, I've seen a difference, especially after the liver, y'all. I'm telling you, it's like my body was craving it. I felt so good.
I'm so happy for you.
And I felt good after the adrenal cocktails. So those are two things that I have done that I've noticed a big improvement in a very short time.
You're making me want that adrenal cocktail. And it's very inexpensive and easy to do.
Easy. That's the thing. It's easy. The liver, that's going to take a little work. But here's the thing. If you
can take liver capsules, that's what I'm doing. If you want to.
Yeah. If you feel bad enough, you're like, I don't care what it is. I'm ready to do it. Another thing, now this has nothing to do with health. This has more to do with mental things that I also try to do to keep myself from going into a spin or getting, the blues is to organize the clutter. Literally, number one, it keeps me busy, but also it like makes me feel like I have some sort of control over something. So I have like some closets that Lindsey like walked in. She goes, "Oh my God, Ashley, like I've never seen the closet so organized." And I literally I've been going through stuff and I'm like this. Lindsey said something really profound to me. She goes, "Edit, Ashley." Cause I filled up a whole tub of stuff at the Goodwill. And I was like,
I said, if
so
it
much
doesn't
stuff.
Spark joy,
yeah,
just like
get rid of it.
Then get rid of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all got in a bunch of stuff, presents from Christmas and this and that. And I'm like, you need to edit out the old and, replace it with the new, right? So the other thing is changing your environment. So when I'm having a hard moment, like Lindsey said earlier, I go outside. There is something about going outside. Maybe it's for a walk. Maybe it's just even on your back porch. I'm like, I don't even have time to go for a walk, but I got to have a change. I will go outside on the back porch and I'll toss the ball to my dog. I don't know. Looking at the squirrels and the birds make me feel like, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. And then what I try to do is not just focus on looking at the animals, but try this. Focus on the smells. See what you can smell because it makes your brain work in a different way, right?
You know what's funny? And I know this is contradictory because it's inside and on TV, but if you're inside, I turn on my YouTube and I turn it on it's not a specific channel. I literally just type in birds in the search thing and I have birds. It's birds on the screen and you just hear tweets and you see the birds and they're just coming to get their food. And every now and then a squirrel will pop in.
I like that. I've done that for
the background.
Okay.
I love
the background while I'm working on my computer. The problem is then I start watching the squirrels and I'm like, I love the way you're eating that corn on the cob.
It's so calming. I absolutely love it.
It is a good one. I will also change my work environment because Lindsey and I both work from home. And sometimes I'm like, I can't work from home anymore. So I will literally, this is what I've been doing lately. I go over to Lindsey's house to work and I have my little routine right now. And the change of scenery has shifted my mood. It is so helpful. If you're like, well, I don't have somebody else's house I can go to, but you work from home. That's why you see so many people work at coffee shops.
However, on the flip side, I need somewhere to go. And I requested, can I come over to your house at least once a week? But you're like, no, I'm like that's not fair. So at least once a week, I would like to change my environment. And
no, it is true. No, just
because you work from home, it's deceiving. Like I didn't even go outside the house yesterday because I worked and then it got dark.
It's a lot. Yeah, but I did.
I'm telling you now, I'm going to be over.
I did tell
Lindsey
no because I was like, I've got to save myself. Another thing that is so good is moving your body. And I know some of y'all are like, I don't work out. I'm not going to work out. Listen, I'm not talking about that. You just got to move that energy. A 10-minute quick stretching, yoga video, Pilates, a 15-minute walk, something, especially y'all. If it's sunny like it is today, I'm like, oh, I'm going outside. I'm going to get the sun in my eyeballs so that my body can see it is out there and sunny. Also, the breath movement, like Lindsey mentioned before, try it. Look it up on YouTube if you want to. Just try to find some breath work and see like, hey, this is something different. Listening to music, that is a big one. If you're just in a funk and you're like, oh my gosh, change it to some music. Let me tell you what music I play. And literally yesterday I had the music on. I don't know about this, Ashley. And Penelope screams in the car, turn it off. Your music sucks. I go, we don't say that word, Penelope. It's yacht music.
It's what?
Yeah, you're welcome. It's called yacht music. Okay. It has things
That's
like
hysterical.
Christopher Cross, Little River Band.
I don't even know what that is.
The kids, I will come pick them up with this stuff on and the kids are like this.
I don't know Christopher.
What?
Is that a
world
singer?
am I in? Yeah, Christopher Cross. Oh my God.
Is it like Light FM? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, we are. But
okay, you can jazz it up all you want.
No, but it's with words. It's called elevator music, but with the words.
Okay, I was about to say yacht music. I like to listen to bossa nova, jazz, classical, and when I get really stressed, believe it or not, I listen to instrumental hymn music, and that is actually really
okay. You may not laugh at me when you're listening to instrumental hymn music.
I said when I'm really stressed.
Yeah.
But the bossa nova we're grooving in the kitchen.
Okay, well, I'm grooving with my yacht music, and let me just
nobody's
tell you
grooving to that.
Oh,
I'm putting my foot down.
Penelope's literally screaming like, "Turn some Taylor Swift." I'm like, no,
I can't. No. Sorry, Swifties,
that or
but
Perry Grip. If you haven't, you'll hear Perry Grip when Ellison's about 5 years from now. Get the tacos with the nuggets. Tacos with the nuggets.
We don't need to go now. You already. Yeah. Let's do Bossa Nova.
Anyways, Lindsey mentioned sharing your feelings. That's a big one. Just talk to somebody. Yeah. Huge. Having a community. That's where, you know what? I was really thriving in my hot yoga community, but
you were.
Things switch. My kids' schedule switched. So I had to stop that because of that. And then all of a sudden I was left with nothing. And it really affected me. And so now, life changes. So you've got to just get out of your comfort zone and go with those changes. So that's why now I am really trying to do that with my church. I'm trying to get involved in my church, trying to find another community that fits with my schedule. And so that's where I'm pushing myself again. I'm going to that church conference this weekend. And is it going to be uncomfortable for me? Yes, it will. Just like that first yoga class was uncomfortable for me. And it was uncomfortable for me for a couple of weeks. And this will be too. But I know in the end, it's worth it. Self-talk. Y'all, Lindsey, did you know that every 2 minutes, the average person talks negatively to themselves? They'll have like a negative thought. Isn't that sad?
So did we have several negative thoughts throughout this podcast?
Well, I've been talking, so I'm full of myself right now.
I did have one when you talked about the yacht music.
Anyway, so what I want you to do is kind of like recognize that. There's a couple things. The church was talking about memorizing some Bible verses. So I've been doing my best to memorize that. And then also, I love this one. Mel Robbins. Do you know who Mel Robbins is, Lindsey?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, she has
her 5-minute rule.
She has this, I don't know about that.
5-second
She's
rule.
got this, I don't know about that, but she's got this thing where if you want to change your brain pattern, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you switch it to something else.
The 5-second rule.
Oh.
Get it? 5, 4.
Shut. See, I just had a negative thought right there. Shut up. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anyway, so you can do that, which I've actually done it before when I'm in that cycle. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, birds. Okay. And then what I like to do is like to replace it with a thought, like you can think of things that you're thankful for. You can say things like everything's going to work out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out yet, it's not the end. I choose to focus on what I can control. I can handle this one step at a time. I will step out of my comfort zone and try something new today. So I will see this obstacle as an opportunity to grow. So you know what I've done in this season where I'm like, God, this season sucked. Like, why did I have to go through this? And then I thought to myself, you know what? There's always a reason. There's always a reason. And I believe the reason is for me to get my body healthy and in balance. And it's not in balance. And that's why I'm having all of these mental side effects.
Yeah. And that does show up on your skin and your face and how you feel. It's a whole cycle.
I was doing so flipping good 2 months ago. And then all of a sudden, boom. And so my whole point is I am not giving up and I am researching and I'm going through it. So anyways, I hope that offers you some encouragement because if we feel bad, our skin, it doesn't have to look bad because that's what Esthetician Lindsey's here for. But anyways.
That's right. And not to go off topic, but you can actually, if you do need help with your skin, I'm here for you. I can help you. You can just head to lindseyholder.com and you can go and join our membership. And we need our walk.
We need our adrenal cocktail. And
I give you a 1 annual video. No. I give you weekly video for swap between product and I do a product review and a skin tutorial. And so I can help guide you there and take out the anxiety and the stress and the overwhelm of trying to figure it out. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. I hope that I'm just looking at Ashley's tagline. It is so cute. We feel bad. Our skin doesn't have to look bad, right? I thought that was so cute. But that is really true. Yeah. So all of this is going to help you feel feel better, feel confident, and it's going to help you look better too, inside and out.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this helps you. Send us a DM at Lindsey R. Holder, and we look forward to chatting with you or join our membership at lindseyholder.com. Until next time.